Biochar alone cannot stop wildfires or typhoons. There is no single solution that can fully control fire and water. But biochar can do something important, something powerful. It can reduce the scale of wildfire damage. It can reduce floods and droughts. And it can lower atmospheric carbon over the long term, calming fire and water. Biochar is one of the key pillars on that path. To understand this, we need to shift our perspective. Fire is not the enemy. Water is not the enemy. They are natural forces, partners of life. What turns them into disasters is imbalance. Too much heat, too much carbon, too little living soil. Biochar helps restore balance, slowly, quietly, from the ground up. There are things we can begin right now, not at planetary scale, not with massive infrastructure, but with small, measurable actions. We can begin by creating simple personal records, tracking biochar use, tracking environmental conditions, tracking how soil and plants respond, even tracking how our own bodies respond to changes in air, moisture, and environment. Small data, but real data. We can start small soil experiments in home gardens, in backyard plots, in pots and containers. We observe moisture retention. We observe plant health. We observe root development. We compare soil with biochar and soil without it. This is not theory. This is practice. Small in scale, but concrete. And every concrete beginning matters. Now let's move beyond the individual. Cities can act too. Every city produces tree trimmings, street pruning waste, and urban wood debris. Today, much of this material is burned or buried. Both options release carbon and waste potential. There is another path. These materials can be converted into biochar using small, decentralized systems. Urban biochar can be returned to soil, soil near wildfire risk zones, soil in parks and green belts, soil in community gardens. When soil structure improves, when moisture retention increases, fire behaves differently. At forest edges, fires spread more slowly. Intensity decreases. Damage becomes more manageable. Healthier urban green spaces also change how cities respond to water. During heavy rain, soil absorbs more water. Runoff slows. Flooding is reduced. During drought, stored moisture sustains plant life. Green spaces become buffers, not decoration, but infrastructure. Now imagine, 5 years from today, regions prone to wildfire begin creating biochar buffer belts, soils enriched with biochar, vegetation selected for water retention, roots that bind soil together. Fire still occurs, but it moves more slowly. It burns less intensely. Time is gained. Time for response. Time for containment. After wildfires, recovery looks different. Instead of bare soil and erosion, biochar compost blends become standard practice. Seedlings survive at higher rates. Root systems establish faster. Soil carbon increases. Recovery accelerates. The land remembers life again. Biochar is also applied to flood-prone regions, riverbanks, low-lying farmland, watersheds. Soils hold more rain. Surface runoff decreases. Peak flood intensity is reduced. Damage is not eliminated, but it becomes manageable. In cities, rain gardens change. Biochar becomes standard. Water storage increases. Heavy metals are adsorbed. Pollutants are filtered. Soils cool. Plants thrive. Urban heat islands weaken. The city breathes again. Now imagine, 10 years from now, biochar is no longer experimental. It becomes part of national systems, included in wildfire prevention plans, included in climate adaptation strategies, included in recovery policies. Agricultural, forestry, and livestock waste is no longer burned or buried. It becomes feedstock. Across rural and forestry regions, biochar hubs appear. Local production, local energy, local soil restoration. Jobs are created. Energy is generated. Carbon is stored. Circular systems replace linear waste. A carbon account system is introduced. Produce biochar. Return it to the land. Earn carbon points. These points return as value. Tax reductions, subsidies, credits. Carbon is no longer invisible. It is measured, tracked, rewarded when stored safely in soil. This is not just policy. It is a moral shift, a return of responsibility, a quiet act of restoration. Humanity begins to care again for life entrusted to Earth. Now imagine, 30 years from today, fire and water have not disappeared, but they have returned to their proper rhythm. Wildfires still exist, but megafires are rare. Fire becomes a tool for ecosystem renewal, not widespread destruction. Storms still come. Typhoons still form. But forests, wetlands, and living soils hold water again. Their force softens. Disasters become events, not catastrophes. Fire and water are not evil. They are partners of life. What broke the rhythm was excess. Excess heat, excess carbon, excess concrete and plastic. Biochar does not solve everything, but it helps restore balance from the soil upward. And restoring that balance does not begin with grand promises. It begins here, with soil, with carbon, with biochar.